Welcome to APTN National News. I'm Dennis Ward. Thursday was a big day for the families of 4 Indigenous women, their supporters, and their communities in Manitoba. Jeremy Skibitsky was found guilty of first-degree murder in the killings of Rebecca Contois, Morgan Harris, Mercedes Myron, and a yet-to-be-identified woman given the name Buffalo Woman. Skibitsky's defense team was claiming NCR, not criminally responsible, on account of mental disorder in the judge-alone trial that lasted 6 weeks. T.R. Wheatley has the latest, and a note to viewers, some of the details are disturbing.
Earlier inside, Chief Justice Glenn Joyelle told the packed courtroom that Jeremy Skibitsky's defense team did not prove that he was mentally ill during the time of the killings. Instead, he sided with the Crown, saying they proved beyond a reasonable doubt that he was intentional and racially motivated. Family members, including the sister of Mercedes Myron, celebrated outside the court with traditional songs.
I'm crowded with emotions. I'm extremely happy. A big weight has been lifted off my shoulders, and justice was served today.
Rebecca Contois' family stood together supporting her older brother as he spoke to the media.
A little anxiety because I just, hearing all that again, reliving it each time we were here. But ultimately, I believe that he made the right decision.
In his oral statement, Joyelle said, while there was some differences in how Rebecca Contois, Morgan Harris, Mercedes Myron, and Buffalo Woman were killed, they all followed a pattern. All 4 were vulnerable Indigenous women. All 4 were strangled. All 4 were put in his bathtub. In Joyelle's words, he filled bathtub prior to the death of all 4 women. He said this interrogation video was crucial in helping determine his findings. Joyelle also talked about the testimony from 2 psychiatrists with very different opinions. He said he did not believe the defense's psychiatrist who said Skibitsky was living with schizophrenia. Instead, he believed the Crown's witness who said Skibitsky fabricated it all, including hearing voices from God that compelled him to kill the women. A huge round dance also took place at the iconic Portage and Main intersection. Supporters gathered to celebrate with the families. In his verdict, Joyelle thanked the families and supporters for standing by all 4 women over the past 2 years and for also attending the trial every day. Outside the courthouse, the Crown did the same.
They had every reason not to trust this system, and yet they consistently showed us their grace and courage. And to the family of Mashkode, Bijiki, Ekwe, Iban, you are not forgotten, and neither is your daughter.
Moving forward, the focus now turns to searching the Prairie Green landfill, where it is believed the remains of Morgan Harris and Mercedes Myron are.
Yeah. So now the next step is bring my girl home. Bring her home. That's all I need. Even just a piece of her would be good.
The maximum sentence Skibitsky can receive is an automatic life sentence with no parole for 25 years. While spirits are high today, some can't help but to think.
It will still never be enough because of what he still did to to our women.
Judge Joyelle is expected to give his full 150-page statement next week. Now, the sentencing date isn't going to happen until sometime this fall. That's because earlier the Crown had asked for a later date so that family members and community members alike could have some time to do their impact statements. T.R. Wheatley, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Reaction of the Skibitsky verdict came swift from Montreal, where the family of Morgan Harris were this week. It was a tough decision for the family to choose to be there and not back in Winnipeg for the verdict, but they did so to ensure the AFN's resolution was passed to support an independent inquiry into the deaths of the 4 women. Kristen Achkate brings us an update from the family, Manitoba Chiefs, and the AFN.
Today we found out the man who took my mom's life and the 3 other women's was found guilty on all 4 counts of first-degree murder and criminally responsible, so he knew exactly what he was doing at the time that he committed those acts.
Strong words from the daughter of Morgan Harris, who can now freely say Jeremy Skibitsky killed her mother.
And he does not have a mental illness. He preyed on these women at shelters. He took them home and he took their life and then disposed of them in a landfill. That's what happened here.
All 3 of Morgan Harris's daughters were in attendance, along with Morgan's cousin, the Assembly of First Nations, and Manitoba Chiefs.
We're elated to hear that that monster will never step foot out of a prison again. And I hope that when he does leave, he's going out in a body bag.
Cambria Harris says Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew called her just before the press conference while he was in ceremony and promised the search at the Prairie Green landfill in Winnipeg will begin very soon.
I told him that I was very, very grateful for Judge Doyle and our Crown attorneys who have been there every step of the way, and I appreciated that they're taking missing and murdered Indigenous women and girls 2S+ more seriously in that courtroom. There was an acknowledgement. We were finally heard in that courtroom today. They treated them as human beings in that courtroom, and they've treated us as human beings every step of the way when the police and the previous government could not.
According to the Harris family, the landfill search for Morgan Harris, Mercedes Myron, Rebecca Contois, and Buffalo Woman will begin around the beginning of August, and the search could take less than a year. This week, the Assembly of First Nations also passed a draft resolution to call for an independent inquiry into the deaths of the 4 women.
We urge the Honourable Anita Neville, the Lieutenant Governor of Manitoba, to establish a commission led by First Nations commissioners to ensure a thorough and respectful investigation. This inquiry must address the shortcomings in the search efforts, evidence management, and the responsiveness of the Winnipeg Police Service and the province of Manitoba.
Pine Creek First Nation Chief Derek Niepenak says today's guilty verdict sets an important precedent for anyone else preying on Indigenous women.
A light will shine on you, and the criminal justice system will do its work, will do its job. This is an important milestone for us to observe because you can't get away with it anymore.
So if it weren't for the support of the community and all the chiefs standing behind us, I don't know how my family and I could have pushed this far.
The Harris family says they will now go back home to Winnipeg to see the completion of their new healing lodge at the Prairie Green landfill in Winnipeg in support of the 4 families. They said their work does not end here. Krisan Achkate, APTN National News, Montreal.
Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew issued a statement on the verdict, calling it a significant day in the history of Manitoba. Kinew said it's important that there is accountability for what are some of the worst crimes in the province's history. Kinew spoke with the families of Mercedes Myron, Morgan Harris, and Rebecca Contois following the verdict to offer support and thank them for their work. Kinew said collective action must now turn to preventing crimes like this from happening again, lifting up the most vulnerable in our society and searching the Prairie Green landfill to advance the healing journey of these families. Manitoba's MMIWG 2S+ Implementation Committee has also announced dates for community victim impact statement engagements. That will begin on July 22nd in Winnipeg, then July 30th in the Paw, August 1st in Thompson, and wrap up on August 7th in Brandon. And if you are affected by these stories, supports are available 24/7 through the MMIWG support line. That number is 1-844-413-6649. Well, we're always looking for your feedback on this or any other story. Here's how you can continue the conversation. If you have a story you want to share, send us an email to news@aptn.ca. To read and watch our stories, you can go to our website. That's aptnnews.ca. You can also find us online on your favorite social media sites, including TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Follow APTN News to join the conversation and see our latest stories. A number of First Nations have taken their concerns to the United Nations in Geneva this week. More on that coming up after the break. Welcome back. Members of the Wabanaki Council of the Odanak took their concerns about identity theft to the United Nations this week. The delegation made the trek to Geneva to speak about what they call identity, cultural, and spiritual theft, particularly in the state of Vermont. They continue to oppose 4 self-proclaimed groups in Vermont who are recognized as Abenaki by the state. According to Councillor Jacques Watso, they had positive discussions with the U.S.'s Secretary of the Interior.
We want the cancellation of the state recognition process that was done in the state of Vermont by the 4 fake tribes that are there that were recognized in 2011 and 2012, to cancel the whole process and to have the local governments of New England and Quebec to address issues concerning our traditional territory to be addressed to the Banic Nation of Odanak and Wolinak.
The Southern Chiefs organization from Manitoba was also at the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland this week to present on First Nations health. And they officially released their report on First Nations health transformation. The 100-page report titled Decolonization, Recognizing First Nations Sovereignty looks at the colonial determinants of health. The determinants include cultural assimilation and control over land, economy, and people, things that have significantly compromised First Nations physical, mental, and spiritual health. The report was created as a roadmap for improving the health of Indigenous peoples in Canada. It encourages the federal government to restore control of healthcare to First Nations. In a statement, SEO Grand Chief Jerry Daniels heralded the report as a, quote, crucial step towards achieving legislative reconciliation for healthcare. The Yukon government has ordered the company behind the cyanide spill at the Eagle Gold Mine to implement safeguards to help protect the site from further contamination. Mining company Victoria Gold was recently ordered to submit various plans. That includes installing a groundwater interception system area, expanding surface and groundwater monitoring, and taking immediate measures to increase water storage capacity on site. Failure to comply is considered an offense. Late last month, the mine experienced an equipment failure, which caused a landslide, allowing low levels of cyanide to leak into a creek downstream from the mine. John Stryker is Yukon's Minister of Mines and Energy.
We never want a mine that fails like this. This should not be. This type of situation is if we're not relaying how serious we think this situation is, let me just emphasize the point. It is completely serious.
A new documentary captures the Northern Community School in Saskatchewan's debut season in an official football league. 2023 marked the beginning of a new era for the Cumberland House Cree Nation Warriors football team when they joined the Northern Saskatchewan Football League. The film tracks the 13 to 18-year-old players from the first game to the championship in just 6 weeks. And despite not winning the championship game, the players reflected on how football helped them. Community Prevention Manager Alyssa Michelle noted improved school attendance and better mental health due to the new team.
If you're struggling with like anger or depression, they save it for the field, and I think that's where they release a lot of their tension.
The Warriors documentary final is available on Vimeo now. Time for one last break. Still to come, a look at how some are coping with the heat. Welcome back. Here's a look at your current conditions. Sunny and 21 in Halifax, 19 in Fredericton. 10 with showers in Kuujjuaq, cloudy and 19 in Nain. 25 in Montreal and Val-d'Or, 24 in Chibougamau. 18 in Sault Ste. Marie, 24 in North Bay. Sunny and 24 in Thunder Bay, 1 degree warmer, and 25 in Sioux Lookout. Cloudy and 13 in God's Lake, 17 in Norway House. Sunny and 25 in Winnipeg at this hour, 21 with rain in Dauphin. 24 and cloudy in Regina, 19 in Saskatoon. 20 in Buffalo Narrows, smoky, and 22 in La Ronge. In northern Alberta, 13 in High Level, 16 in Fort McMurray. 19 in Edmonton, showers, and 25 in Lethbridge. 17 in Vancouver, 19 in Kamloops. Sunny and 14 for Prince George, 7 under the sun in Dease Lake. 14 in Old Crow, cloudy and 10 for Whitehorse. 14 in Yellowknife and Norman Wells. 9 in Sax Harbor, 11 in Pawlatuck. 11 in Chesterfield, 13 in Whale Cove. +1 in Resolute, 4 above in Joe Haven. Well, as you can see there, temperatures across Canada have been soaring, which can usually bring intense thunderstorms. Tatasqueyak Cree Nation in northern Manitoba was no exception to this. Check out this video that was taken and narrated by resident Laverne Spence, and watch closely. You may see something out of the ordinary fly by.
There is a thunderstorm. Oh, did you see that? Rain, thunderstorm, lightning, and wind. There's the thunder, there's the lightning, there's the wind, and there's the rain. See, I kid you not. Visibility is not too bad right now, but if the things pick up, look out. So here you go. This is in Tatasqueyak Cree Nation, Split Lake, Manitoba. God bless, goodbye, pray for us. Bye. How do I stop this?
Now that's how you do a weather forecast. If you would like to submit your own weather videos, you can visit our website, aptnnews.ca. Well, after sweltering temperatures hit the west, the heat has officially arrived in central Canada. Environment and Climate Change Canada has issued a heat warning in Winnipeg, with humidex values hitting 40 on Thursday and Friday. Reporter Sierra Bettens tells us how community organizations banded together to help locals keep cool.
When things start heating up here in Winnipeg, our community organizations, libraries, and splash pads become safe havens for people trying to stay cool. And this year, the City of Winnipeg and community organizations did their homework. In late June, End Homelessness Winnipeg published their 2024 Extreme Weather Response Plan, which brings together over 40 different community organizations to help people stay cool in this heat. And today, we're seeing it in action. Here at the Main Street Project, donations of water are piling up.
We put a call out for donated bottled water on our social media, and we've had a really good response to that so far. We went to Costco in St. James today to pick up a very large donation of bottled water.
For people experiencing homelessness, extreme temperatures can be dangerous and even fatal. Cindy Titus, who manages communications at Main Street Project, says their facilities are bustling in the heat, with more seeking shelter.
People experiencing homelessness are at great risk of heat-related illness, and so that would look like sunburn, heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and dehydration, and we want to do our best to prevent that kind of illness as soon as possible.
Over the past few years, Titus says the organization had to adapt the services to accommodate more extreme heat events. Marianne Opria, an emergency management officer with the City of Winnipeg, says this comes with a price tag.
During times of extreme heat, it can be pretty expensive, especially trying to get water out to the communities. So we have done our own outreach to the community centers, again, just to see who is available, and that we do provide cases of water for them during the summer season.
Titus says the Main Street Project is always looking for donations of water, fruit, popsicles, and summer clothing for community members, as well as funds to purchase essentials. Sierra Bettens, APTN National News, Winnipeg.
Thanks, Sierra. And if you are in Winnipeg, Waboon Abanujik is desperately seeking donations of bottled water for community during the heat wave. Donations can be dropped off at 225 Dufferin Avenue. Well, all week long, we've shown you stories from the Banic Festival in St. Teresa Point, Anishinaabe Nation. Tonight, we show you the excitement from the youth as they get to meet and greet Mariana's Trench before they turn up the heat. On the concert beat, here's T.R. Wheatley.
This moment scratched off the bucket list after opening up for their pop rock idols. Baron May and his band met them. Where did all the good go? Mariana's Trench were brought to St. Teresa and Anishinaabe Nation to perform a 2-hour concert for the youth during the 42nd annual Banic Festival. During sound practice earlier in the day, some of them got VIP backstage access to meet the band. The community had contests to give everyone a fair chance at winning a shot for this.
Hi there. Hi, how's it going? How's it going? Hi.
Kyla Rose McDougall was one of the lucky winners.
They came here to see you. Yes. It's very, very exciting. I never imagined them coming here.
When you're an old grandma, you could be telling your grandchildren, Mariana Stretch came to St. Teresa to see me.
Yes. Yes. I gotta go over there.
I'm Josh.
I'm Mike.
I am Matthew.
And I am Ian.
We're feeling great. Everyone's been very welcoming. I've eaten more Banic today than I have in 10 years. It's been great. It's been great.
Would you say they make the best Banic around here?
It's the best I've had. When we got there, our dressing room was actually warm still. That's about as fresh as it gets.
This concert deep in the woods was meant to uplift spirits here after a hard couple of years, says the community's junior chief.
Keep youth motivated or keep youth, engaged out of negative stuff, like even their mental stuff, their mental health. That's pretty much my goal, just to keep youth active and engaged.
But the youth here weren't the only excited ones. Check out my camera guy, Zach Bowser. Pulling a show off like this is not easy, even in a major city. But for 10 months of the year, the only way into St. Teresa Point is to fly. Greg Watson works with Thrill Star Entertainment. He helped get these rock stars to St. Teresa this week.
In the wintertime, there's a winter road that we can use to bring in all the equipment, the barrier, the blow-through barrier that we needed for the stage. But it turned out to be a blessing in disguise because the community came together and built this fantastic stage.
I truly hope this will not be the last time that we're here. Such a beautiful place. Also, this is true. This is the only gig we've ever had where we had to take a barge to get to it.
Jesus Christ. I mean, that's the moment they were all waiting for. This is it. This is it. T.R. Wheatley, APTN National News, St. Teresa's Point.
Now that stage you've been seeing all week, it was made by some local youth through a carpentry program. Join us tonight to hear about that program for the last of our Banic Festival coverage in St. Teresa Point. Great work up there by TR and Zach, and great dance moves by Zach. He's just behind me right now. Maybe he'll bust some out here for us. That's all the time we have for your APTN National News for now. For the latest, visit our website, aptnnews.ca. I'm Dennis Ward, Marcy McGuich. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you back here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great afternoon.